Hello, all. Welcome to the lecture series in applied chemistry, polymers. So, in the lecture series, polymers, uh, in this topic, we can discuss about introduction to the polymers. So, we have a question in our mind that what is a polymer? Okay. See, when we talk about a single molecule in chemistry or in anywhere else, we say it's a mono. And we go for a two, we call it as di, and for three, tri, four, tetra, five, penta, etc., it goes on. And when we are talking about some millions of trillions of molecules put together, there is no countable things like this. So we go for a word, a polymer. But typically in the polymers, we define poly means it's a Greek word. It's derived from a Greek word. It means many, and mer means it's a point or parts. So polymers means it has a many parts, or we can say it is a many repeating units. So generally, polymer are large molecules. They're composed of repeating structural units known as monomers. Mono means single and mer means parts. It's a single part. So many monomers, when they combine together, they will form a macromolecule, which we define as a polymer. So, other than that, what are the polymers? What are the characters do they have? So, the polymers, they are covalently bonded together because each chains are linked together by a covalent bond so that it extends into a large chain. And obviously, a polymer is a macromolecule. And when we think of the properties, it depends on the properties of monomers. So, what are the properties of monomers? That property can be inherited in the polymers, or depending upon the reaction methodologies or types and nature, they can change. The polymers have structural chain-like molecules. Sometimes they are linear, and sometimes they are interlinked three-dimensional structures. These structures of the chains brings some special peculiar property to the polymers. As I said, poly means many repeating units. So how can we classify the polymers? The polymers can be classified based on several things. One is based on the source where it has been found. The second one is based on its structure, whether it is linear, branched, cross-linked, etc. And the third one is the polymers based on the polymerization method in which it involves. And the next one is the molecular forces involved in these polymers. Like that, we can classify the polymers based on these types. So first, when we are speaking about source, so natural polymers are found in nature. That means it naturally found. Our DNA, which is present in our body, our protein are all polymers. DNA is made up of nucleic acids, and proteins are made up of amino acids. And rubber, which is naturally obtained from the tree, latex, it is a basic isoprene unit. And cellulose found in the plant materials are composed of the natural polymers. Then we think of the synthetic polymers. The synthetic polymers means which are man-made, which are being produced in the laboratory by doing some reactions. For example, polyethylene, that is from ethylene is polymerized to form polyethylene, and nylon, where nylon is made up of an adipic acid and hexamethylene diamine, and PVC, vinyl chloride is polymerized to form a polyvinyl chloride. And next one is a semi-synthetic polymer, which is a combination of the natural and synthetics, a modified natural polymers, which we can say cellulose acetate. Cellulose is obtained naturally, and acetate happens due to the reaction in the lab. The next one is based on the structure. So whether the polymeric chain, which is formed having a long straight chain structure, we call it as linear polymer. Examples HDP, that is high density polyethylene, and a branched polymers, which has chains have interlinkages, which has some branched structure. That is an example for LDPE, low density polyethylene, and cross-linked polymers, where the cross-linked polymers which have an interlinked three-dimensional covalent bonding, backlight are the example. So based on these structure, the property gets varies. Okay, yeah. So based on the polymerization is the next method. So how these the polymers are made? They can be made. The monomers can be converted to polymers based on the two important reactions methods. One is addition polymerization, another one is condensation polymerization. Where addition polymerization, the monomers can join together just like adding one ball to another ball without losing any molecules from it. That is ethene to form polyethylene, vinyl chloride to form polyvinyl chloride, like that. Where the condensation polymers, it involves a reaction with loss of some molecules. Condense, that means the monomers combine together with the elimination of certain molecules. The certain molecule in the sense ammonia, water, HCl, like this in the case of nylon 66, where nylon 66 and adipic acid and hexamethylene diamine combine, they release some amount of water molecules. So these are the basic methods in which polymerization can be done. So based on these methods, the property can also change. So that depends upon the place and the reaction. Then the next one is the based on the molecular forces, how the molecular forces can bring certain change in the molecules. Uh, elastomer, fiber, thermoplastic, thermosetting plastics. Yes, elastomer, where in which weak intermolecular forces can operate. Rubber, we can squeeze the rubber, we can turn the rubber, we do whatever things we not by small heating the rubber can get decomposed and it can melt. It happens, no. So elastomers have some weak intermolecular forces. Then fibers with a strong hydrogen bonding like nylon, which has strength, but with high temperature it won't withstand, it melts. But thermoplastics means where thermoplastics means where softening, it becomes soft on heating and becomes hard on cooling. So PVC and polystyrenes are the best examples. The materials which we are using in our day-to-day life, like our we use a mug and we use some plastic materials in our day-to-day home. When it's heat, it becomes cold. When you pour a hot water into a bucket, which you get in your restroom, suddenly it's a squeeze. That means while heating, it becomes soft, and after some time, when it cools, it becomes hard. And then thermoplastic, it's very important. It is hard permanently. Once it is heated and set, we can't change it. Like backlight, it may be you may observe in practical life that the cooker handbar, cooking utensils have some black hand handles. These handles are plastic material, particularly a thermostatic polymers, where in which it won't conduct any heat. That's why we can handle it safely. That is all the type of thermostatic plastics which can happens in cross-linked polymers like this. Uh, so to conclude here, we discussed what is a polymer and what are the characters of a polymer and how we classify the polymers based on the source, based on the structure, based on the polymerization method, based on molecular forces, etc. And thank you. Next class we can continue with this the thermal properties of the polymers. Thank you.